Herdling is a third-person adventure game that sees you shepherding a group of animals known as calicorns. Living in downtrodden conditions, you must work together through a sometimes dangerous landscape to find a safer harbour for you and your newfound family. Herdling was developed by Okomotive, a Swiss team who just so happened to be one of my favourite developers. This is their third game, with their previous releases being the Far series. If you haven't played those games, play them right now, please. Their newest title couldn't be more different from those games. There are hints of Far, however. Tonally it feels very reminiscent, and its colour scheme does have semblances of what came before it. But as a video game, it stands completely on its own feet. For starters, they've made the jump from side-scroller to a much more open 3D experience. Instead of maintaining a vehicle, you're maintaining a herd of calicorns, which require noticeably less maintenance, but still have their own quirks and challenges associated with them. All of that is something I will get to later on though. Okomotive's games have always had a show, don't tell approach to their narratives, while simultaneously providing something that is substantial and clear enough to leave you satisfied. It's something I have always admired about them, and that trend continues with Herdling. You start off in a dump, a dirty, dilapidated city that has completely swallowed you whole. It's dark, cold, and there's no sign of life to be found anywhere. That is, until you bump into your first calicorn. He's not having a good time because he's got something stuck on his head. After some struggle, you are able to take it off and tame him. I called him Jeff. Yeah, you can name your calicorns. It's a feature. You bump into a couple more on your way through the city, and before long you reach the outskirts, and are thus presented with one of the most beautiful title screens I have seen in a long time. This is the first of many gorgeous moments this game has to offer. Those who enjoyed titles such as Journey will be right at home here, because the magic moments that game had are plentiful in Herdling as well. Presentation is something Okomotive has always been good at, and this is some of their best work yet. Numerous times you'll be climbing up a hill or making your way through a tunnel, only for an absolutely jaw-dropping set piece to be revealed to you, coupled with a moving soundtrack that makes you feel like you're in a Pixar film. The attention to detail in each area you travel to is incredibly high, and you are given a wide array of locations to explore, ranging from urban and industrial areas to lush forests and green pastures to mountainous landscapes and snowy tundras. While you are on a linear path, there is always something new to see, and I felt immersed in the world from start to finish. What impressed me the most about these environments, however, was the sheer scale of them. Those set pieces I mentioned before, what makes them even more stunning is just how massive they are. It's hard to explain just how astonishing it was to come across a new vista and see it stretch as far as the eye can see. It's a feeling that never got old, and each time it happened, it made me love the game even more than I did before. Moments like this are what carry the experience. Its story, although present, is very minimal. It's easy to interpret, so it's not like you'll be confused the whole time, but there's no text or dialogue. Only imagery and sensation brought about by the strengthening bond between you and your herd, the number of which increases a lot more than you'd expect. Seriously, you get so many calicorns. The subtle nature of the narrative didn't bother me though. I'll admit I am very familiar with this genre of game, but even despite that, I never felt it needed to do more with its story. It doesn't shove anything in your face, but instead allows you, the player, to develop your own bond with your herd. After everything you go through, you want to find a safe place. You want your herd to be okay. You don't need to be told that, you just feel it for yourself. And that is a special feeling. Feelings aside, guiding your herd of calicorns comes with its own set of challenges. The main one of which is getting them to obey your commands and move them the way you want them to move. They don't quite realise that falling off a cliff, walking into a piece of hazardous debris, or falling down a hole in the ice is not a good idea. The controls in Herdling take some getting used to. More specifically, controlling your herd takes time to get to grips with. In order to get them moving, you must stand behind them and hold the left mouse button. You get an indicator that shows the direction they are heading in that adjusts in accordance to where you are facing. To be fair, it can't be any more difficult than actually guiding a herd of animals in real life, so I'll give it that. Regardless, it can be a bit finicky. Once you get used to it, directing them is straightforward most of the time. Getting them to slow down and tread more carefully can be frustrating. Even getting them to stop can be more demanding than it should be. In order to have them slow down, you must hold down the right mouse button, and to get them to stop, you must press the right mouse button twice. The time it takes to recognize your input, however, is way too long. Instead of pressing the right mouse button twice, I would usually spam it until I noticed them stopping, otherwise they would just keep moving. Moving slowly is fine, but there were plenty of times where, because of my position in the herd, the direction indicator would get confused and the calicorns wouldn't know where to go. Normally you would adjust your position to get behind them, but some areas are close-quartered, so you can't exactly do that all the time. I don't want to make this sound like a much bigger problem than it is, because, in all honesty, it didn't hold back my enjoyment too much. If anything, it only annoyed me when it would occur during moments when I was in a flow state. The sprinting mechanic is one of the main components responsible for making some of the game's most memorable moments. Sprinting through fields and on mountaintops is breathtaking, and even though you're just running, it's incredibly fun because of how freeing it is, something that's also emblematic to the story. In truth, these sequences represent Herdling at its peak. Everything falls into place so smoothly that the act of moving becomes an exhilarating gameplay feature. So long as you run through flower beds that recharge your sprints, you feel like you could do this for hours. During its slower moments, you are given puzzles to solve that usually appear when there's a roadblock. These are rarely all that complex, but they have you separate from your herd to do some climbing and observation of your surroundings. Whilst on these side ventures, you can obtain ornaments that can be attached to your calicorns. I'm sure they totally appreciate me dumping all of these random things on them. At the end of each chapter, you and your herd find yourselves at a campsite overlooked by a giant statue. These are safe havens that serve as gateways to the next section of the game. You find wood for the fire, play with your calicorns, and go to sleep. Whilst asleep, you are given a glimpse of what the next chapter will have in store for you, something that I was quite fond of as a feature. It never gives too much away, but showcases just enough to get you intrigued. One of the most surprising features Herdling has is its stealth sections. This is another major highlight of the game. Throughout your journey you will have run-ins with giant birds. Usually they are asleep, but if you or your herd bump into any obstacle on the ground, they will wake up and attack you. These sections are unbelievably tense. The atmosphere is top-notch. You have to move as slowly and carefully as possible, all the while being very conscious of every sound you make. There were plenty of times where I found myself at the edge of my seat when navigating past these creatures. All in all, Herdling is quite a varied experience, and while some things are implemented more smoothly than others, as a package there's a lot that's in store for you. Plus, it has calicorns, and you can't resist those. I'll always appreciate developers trying something different from what they've done in the past, regardless of the result, and I'm happy to say that Herdling is a remarkable success, It might even be Okamoto's best game to date. While it feels very reminiscent of other flow state games, here things are shaken up thanks to its intense stealth sections and environmental puzzles that vary up the pacing. The journey as a whole doesn't feel drawn out, and you are introduced to new things on a regular basis. Its presentation is what I will remember the most though. The beautiful landscapes that you and your herd breeze through, the immersive soundtrack that makes each set piece all the more cinematic, and the personal connection with your herd that is so easy to develop. These things are what make Herdling feel special. Whether or not it is a game for you will entirely depend on your gaming preferences. If this type of experience appeals to you, then you should definitely add this to your list. Regardless, it's a fantastic game that I can highly recommend to anyone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more like it. Let me know what you would like to see me review next, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.